Okay, so we'll be dealing with division, simple divisions, but with remaining. Okay, so let's start with the question 1 divided by 2. Now, 1 divided by 2 is what? You can't get a whole number, right? But we want to put our answers in whole numbers. We want our answers to be in whole numbers with remaining. Now, if you look at the 2 times table, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Now, 2 times nothing will give you 1. That means if 2 times nothing will give you 1, and 1, remember, 1 is even smaller than 2. So since 1 is smaller than 2, that means 1 divided by 2 will be 0, meaning you can't get a whole number. Then remaining the 1, this 1, remaining the 1, remaining 1. So 1 divided by 2 is 0 remaining 1 because you can't get that number. You get that? You can't. Are you there? You can't get a whole number. No. Now let's look at another example. We're going in one after the other. 2 divided by 2. Now, if I say 2 divided by 2, you know you're already your 2 times table. Am I correct? The first one you said 2. The first one you said 2 times what to give you 1. Of course, nothing, because and 1 is even smaller. That's why I just say 0 minus 1. But look at the second one. 2 divided by 2. You read your 2 times table. 2 times what will give you 2? Of course, if you look at the multiplication table here, 2 times 1 gives you 2. So since 2 times 1 gives you 2, that means 2 divided by 2 is 1. And remember, we say a number divided by itself is 1. We already know that before in our previous video. Okay, so now let's look at another example. We'll just keep going on. Okay, now we want to say 3 divided by 2. What is 3 divided by 2? Remember, we have to read that 2 times table. 2 times what will give you 3? Now, if you read your 2 times, you won't get 3 as an answer because 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 is already more than 3. So you can't get 3 as an answer. 3, the answer 3 will be between these 2 and 4 here, to be somewhere here, between 2 and 4. So you actually cannot get 2 times this to give you won't get 3 in your 2 times table. So you will now ask yourself this question. You will use the number up there, this number, these 2 up there. You use it to ask yourself, 2 divided, the one you can see that is smaller than this 3, is 2 divided by 2. So you ask yourself, what is 2 divided by 2? 2 divided by 2 is 1. So since you have used the smaller number, 2 divided by 2 is 1, you then tell yourself that since 2 divided by 2 is 1, that means 3 divided by 2 will also be 1. But the thing is that 3 will have a remainder because 3 is not in the 2 times table. So we subtract 3 minus 2 to get the remainder. 3 minus 2 is 1. So that means 3 divided by 2 is 1, remainder 1. So why 2 divided by 2 is 1, 3 divided by 2 is 1, remainder 1. Now let's try 4 divided by 2. Okay. Now 4 divided by 2, you also say 2 times 4 to give you 4. Of course. If you read your 2 times table, 2 times 2 is 4. So since 2 times 2 is 4, that means 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, what about 5 divided by 2? Now, if you read your 2 times table, 2 times 1, 2, there's 2, 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 3 is 6. You won't get 5. But you will notice that 5 is between 4 and 6. This is where 5 is. 5 is between 4 and 6. Because if you read 2 times table, you won't get 5 as your answer. No. 5, you won't get 5, but 5 is between 4 and 6. So which one do we use to ask us? Which question do we ask ourselves? We don't use 6. We use the number before 5, which is 4. So we ask ourselves, what is 4 divided by 2? That's what we ask ourselves. Now, 4 divided by 2, we already know it before. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So if 4 divided by 2 is 2, that means 5 divided by 2 will also be 2. Now, if 5 divided by 2 is also be 2, 5 divided by 2 will have a remainder because 5 is not in this 2 times table. That means 5 will have a remainder. How do we get the remainder? We subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. So that means 5 divided by 2 is 2, remainder 1. Let's do more examples. Okay, so we have 6 divided by 2. Now, if you read your 2 times table, there is 6 there. 2 times 1, 2 times 4, 2 times 3 is 6. There's 6. So that means that's going to be a whole number. There will be no remainder. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. There is no remainder. What about if we have 7 divided by 2? If you read that 2 times table, you won't get 7. 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 4, 2 times 3, 6, 2 times 4, 8. So that means 7 is between 6 and 8. And remember, we cannot use 8. So what we use? We use 6. We ask ourselves the question using 6. We say, what is 6 divided by 2? Now, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now, if 6 divided by 2 is 3, that means 7 divided by 2 will also be 3. But now we need the remainder, because for 6, there's no 7 in the multiplication table. There will be a remainder. How do you get the remainder? You subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. So 7 divided by 2 is 3, remainder 1. Let's try another example. Okay, we have 8 divided by 2. Now, 8 divided by 2, of course, if you look at, you read the 2 times table, you get 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So that means 8 divided by 2 is 4. But what about if we are given 9 divided by 2? Now, if you read that 2 times table, you will get there's no 9 in the answer. 2 times 1, 2 times 4, 2 times 3, 6, 2 times 4, 8, 2 times 5, 10. 10 is already more than 9. 10 is more than 9. And where is 9? 9 is between 8 and 10. So that means we have to use 8 to ask ourselves the question again. So we say 8 divided by 2. Now, what's 8 divided by 2? We already know that is 4. So if 8 divided by 2 is 4, it means that 9 divided by 2 is also going to be 4. But remember, 9 is not in 2 times table, so there will be a remainder. How do we get the remainder? We subtract 9. We subtract 8 from 9. That's 9 minus 8 to give you 1. That means 9 divided by 2 will be 4, remaining 1. Let's try 2 more examples. Okay, we have 15 divided by 2. Let's see where. I don't think you won't get 15 there, right? So let's go. 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 3, 6, 2 times 4, 8, 2 times 5, 10, 2 times 6, 12, 2 times 7, 14, 2 times 8, 16. There's no 15. But remember, 15 is between 14 and 16. So we can't use 16 to ask ourselves the question. We have to ask the question using 14. So the question is, what will be 14 divided by 2? Now, 14 divided by 2, 2 times 7 is 14. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. So if 14 divided by 2 is 7, it means that 15 divided by 2 will also be 7. So if 15 divided by 2 is 7, that means if 14 divided by 2 is 7 and 15 divided by 2 is 7, remember for 15, there's no 15 there. That means 15 will have a remainder. So we subtract. 1 minus 1 is 0. 5 minus 4 is 1. So remainder 1. So 15 divided by 2 is 7. Remainder 1. Okay, one more example on this. Okay, now we have 23 divided by 2. Now, if you read the 2 times table, you won't get 23, would you? No, you won't get 23. So but if you look at the 23, when you read your 2 times table, you see that 23 is between 22 and 24, somewhere here. Because 2 times 11 is 22 and 2 times 12 is 24. So remember, we can't use 24. So what do we use? 22. We ask ourselves the question using 22. So we have to say, what is 22 divided by 2? 22 divided by 2 is 11. So if 22 divided by 2 is 11, that means 23 divided by 2 will also be 11. But 23 is not in the answer there. So that means 23, since 23 is not in the multiplication table there as an answer, it means that 23 will have a remainder. So we subtract. To get the remainder, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So that means 23 divided by 2 is 2, 23 divided by 2 is 11, remainder 1. I think I should just do one more example before we leave. Thank you. Let me quickly one more example. Okay, now we have 19 divided by 2. What is 19 divided by 2? If you read 2 times table, you will get 19, right? But you notice that 19, if you read your 2 times table, 2 times 7, 14, 2 times 8, 16, 2 times 9, 18, 2 times 10, 20. So 19 is between 18 and 20. So what do we use to ask ourselves the question? We don't use 20. No, we use the number before. The number smaller, which is 18. So 18 divided by 2, when we use our multiplication table, 18 divided by 2 is 9. So if 18 divided by 2 is 9, that means 19 divided by 2 would also be 9. And since there's no 19 there, that means 19, there will be a remainder for 19. So we subtract. 1 minus 1 is 0. 9 minus 8 is 1. So that means 19 divided by 2 is 9, remainder 1. So why 18 divided by 2 is just 9? 19 divided by 2 is 9, remainder 1. So if you need to go, if you don't understand, you need to go through again before you attempt the questions. Thank you.